It wasn't the Hezbollah
Fuck.
thing.
No, because that guy was
real.
right.
We're live.
We're live. It's the Spinnin Backfist MMA show for Thursday, August 17th. It's Robbie Fox, Big Ev, and Jack Mack will be joining us in just a second. He just sent the show live from the producer's chair. We are here to talk UFC 292, and it's all thanks to Monaco, our new presenting sponsor. You've got the watermelon classic margaritas on this side, 9% alcohol. And then on this side, we've got the spicy margarita and the original hard lemonade. This one made with vodka. So if you're not a tequila guy, if you're a vodka guy, they've got products for you as well.
It's my personal favorite.
Even if you are
Hard
not a
lemonade's good
tequila guy,
stuff.
though, you got to try this stuff because it is the best. And what's that?
And I came in late because I needed to secure some Kentucky coffee whiskey. I've been asked about this by one of our sales guys upstairs. He's like, yo, you got the Kentucky whiskey downstairs? And I was like, yeah. Monaco, they came on Spinning Backfist. He was like, that's all they talk about. It's all my friends talk about. You got to try the coffee whiskey. And he was like, I'm going to come down one night after work to get some Kentucky whiskey. And I was like, hey, you can come down whenever you want, bro.
Oh,
I'm not your boss. I'm not. You could.
With Monaco, the more the merrier. That's what I say.
Yeah, look at this. And it's a beautiful, beautiful labeling. And you'll see Monaco in the cage this weekend.
That's right. Sponsor of the UFC. Ev will be there in Boston, taking the train up. We were just talking about it. Always feels good when there's a card so good that you're like, I got to be there.
Yeah, honestly, I've said this a few times since I went to the first one ever. I was like, anytime they're within like a certain radius, I will be there. And so far, I've kept that promise to myself. Yeah. Boston train ride, I'm there.
Even a fight like the Jones Gone fight, you were like, fuck it, I want to be there.
Yeah, I did.
Went all the way to Vegas for it.
I just think it's the best live sporting event there is. I really do. Like, I've been a football games, basketball, it's just the energy in the crowd live. There's just nothing like it.
No.
The moment, even when like shit goes like wrong, bad, or even like for like a John Jones where it was sort of like anticlimactic, it still was like this crazy moment. Mm-hmm. He wins the heavyweight title. It's this whole like he wins in this amazing fashion. That was also following up Shevchenko losing, crazy upset. Grasso takes the belt, 6-1 underdog. I mean, Shevchenko hadn't lost to someone not named Nunez in forever.
Yep.
It's the best. I would recommend anyone going to any UFC, really just any MMA event that's happening at all.
Definitely.
There's
PFL, we've been to the PFL events here.
If we didn't have Rough and Rowdy and then Barstool Awards, I would have been at both, to be honest.
Definitely.
PFL, if you're in the New York area and you want tickets and you use the code VIVA,
we got a little promo code?
40% off.
40%? That's a friggin' great deal.
Yeah,
it's at the Hulu Theater at the Garden.
Great place to watch fights.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything is just zeroed in on the cage. Like, one side isn't open to the crowd, so it's just like Coliseum gladiator type feel.
It's awesome.
But yeah, MMA is the best, and we're here to talk about it today. We've got an awesome card, UFC 292 on Saturday, the PFL cards. Some news-wise, what do we got? I mean, Dylan Dennis and Logan Paul are going at it like crazy. I don't know if that's...
Well, it's more Dylan Dennis, just any photo. Nina Agdal, who was a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, now married or engaged to Logan Paul. Mm-hmm. Any photo she's taken ever.
With a man,
with another man,
Yeah,
it's. I feel like I'm not following Dylan Dennis anymore. I'm following Rivellino, the creator of the Green Line Test, because it's just guys in like just.
I thought you created the Green Line.
No,
Test.
That's Rivellino, the Godfather.
Oh, I truly believed that was a Jack Mack thing.
I actually did too.
I guess we always got to give credit to Rivellino.
Yeah.
But
shout out Ravioli.
But every second it seems like I'm on my timeline. There's another Dylan Dennis tweet.
There's a lot of them, yeah.
And
he's going on and he's saying that Logan's sending him cease and desists, and
he said our Logan made all of his older friends sign NDAs about something that had to do with
him getting killed. Was that
but I got told that clip was a joke. He went on a podcast. He said that he saved Logan Paul's life because of all his connections in New York. Logan Paul probably would have been killed.
If that's
that
a joke,
night.
that is something really funny to say.
Yeah.
Well, but then I don't know if you saw this. There was a tweet that Mike Malak posted a clip from Dennis went on the Nelk Boys podcast.
Yeah.
And Mike Malak posted a tweet and then immediately deleted it. So he was saying because he was saying like Malak's the only one that still chose you just because he was like basically just for clout kind of thing. He does a podcast with him. So obviously, honestly, it was kind of funny because Mike Malak clearly tweeted about it, and then Logan said, "Don't talk about it," and then immediately just got rid of it. So He basically was calling like, oh, like you're like basically calling me like he's like you're like his lap dog.
It is
Like,
tough.
he told
with,
you not
like,
to speak, and you immediately just didn't speak.
man, if you sign up to fight Dylan Dennis, you better predict this, like expect this from him. Like,
The problem with
how
him,
could you not?
the problem with him is there's like a 90% chance he doesn't fight.
Yeah.
And I think if he does, he's not going to win because he's a jiu-jitsu guy and he's boxing.
Yeah.
I just think he hasn't fought in forever. He fought in Bellator like 5 years ago. What is it, 4 or 5 years?
And even those fights, they
It
put him
would
up
be-
against
they
tomato
were like
cans.
tomato cans that he just like grappled up.
And I
which-
think
listen,
he
he's
got
a
clipped in
listen
both
for
of
all
them.
world. He's a phenomenal grappler. Like he's world class jiu-jitsu. He became famous from being McGregor's jiu-jitsu guy. But still, I mean, in a boxing match, I think he's gonna get smoked. I think Logan's minus 1,000.
I wish it was
I don't think he
MMA.
should be minus
That
1,000,
would be just so much better. But
I don't even think it would be better because I think it would just be like the opposite. I think Dylan would just be minus 10,000. You would just drag him down and choke him out.
Well, yeah, in MMA, it would be MMA wise for sure.
all that being said, I'm not very I'm with Ev too. Like he probably is not even gonna fight.
He signed up for 1 million fights. He never fights.
He never fights. It's just. And he just
Although I
tweets.
think let me know if you guys actually, Ben just said it. I was gonna say it myself. I remember this vaguely. Someone saying there's like a clause where if he backs out, he'd owe Logan money essentially.
All right, so
And he
maybe
signed that.
That's good.
He said I thought it was almost like 500,000. Benjamin Russ in the chat says it was 100,000. Maybe that's more realistic. I'm not sure. I heard the number I had in my head was it was like 500 grand. Like it was like no way he's gonna back. Basically, he can't back out.
Also, we've got Rough and Rowdy tomorrow night. Rough
Yep.
and Rowdy 22. Big developments in the Rough and Rowdy world. First time ever, we've got 5-round fights. So the
Yep.
main events, like UFC, will now be upgraded to 5 rounds. And we just got breaking news that Trailer Park, everyone's favorite Trailer Park, he goes like that, is out of the fight. He fought last week, which
Classic
obviously
Trailer Park.
Where?
somewhere random. Like he fought for another company, I guess. You can't fight 2 weeks in a row. That's how fighting works. You get hit in the
What
head.
Damon
Blackshear.
Well, yeah, but Damon Blackshear isn't Trailer Park.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
not.
Wait, so the commission didn't clear him?
No. So he's out. He was supposed to fight one of the Abel brothers. Now, Jenks, who is basically Frank's bodyguard at this point,
Yeah,
is really
assistant,
stepping into that
friend,
bodyguard role. And he's
fellow
going to
Mets
fight him,
fan.
yeah, on Frank's behalf. So
He's fighting Spencer Abel,
I think he's fighting Spencer, and,
then Zach is fighting Irish Dave Portnoy.
also on Frank's behalf. Frank the Tank has 2 guys fighting the Abel brothers for him at Rough and Rowdy.
Jenks is fighting.
It's amazing.
Wow! Shout out Jenks.
Frank's
Shout out
got
Jenks.
shooters.
He's got shooters everywhere. Irish Dave
He's
Portnoy.
got guys willing to throw the 5 for him.
It's one of
anywhere.
my favorite storylines we've ever had. Like the
Also-
fact that 2 guys
also,
are fighting
I
for
found
Frank.
this out. Apparently, Jenks is jacked.
Oh,
Is he?
Didn't know that.
He
Because
looks
I-
like he's like an in shape guy
Because
for sure.
I'd only met Jenks once. I wasn't like I thought he was just kind of like average size guy, which I think he is height wise. And I knew the Abros are pretty big. Not that they're like these skilled boxers, but then I was told that Jenks is in phenomenal shape and is like dead serious, is like jack, like 6-pack, like ripped up. So like
wow,
good shape,
I didn't
like
know that.
good shape, so he works out. So I mean, the Abel brothers are they're closer to me than Jenks in terms of body style. So I feel like that's significant advantage for Jenks.
Yeah.
I wonder if
Should have,
Jenks
should have the cardio advantage also.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if Jenks has ever fought before, or maybe he's just like, I'll do it. I don't care.
I don't know, but I appreciate the move. A short notice fighter stepping up like that.
No, shout out Jenks. Huge. And we're pumped up.
Okay,
for
Hunter
tomorrow.
says he's never boxed.
I mean, the Abel brothers have they've
Rough and Rowdy
They have rough and rowdy
experience.
experience.
Yeah.
They're I would they have to be bigger than Jay, like taller at least.
Yes,
Probably.
they're both
They have to
long.
weigh. They have to
I
weigh
think they're
more
taller.
for sure.
Zach
Yeah.
Abel is 2-2 coming into this fight.
I think he's 2-2 or 2-3. Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
then
the
Last
other
fight, all
one-
this going over the ropes is all
So
time.
funny.
Or what's the one guy fought the stud last time? I think my favorite Rough and Rowdy clip ever is it's him talking to like Dave and like Caleb like after his fight where he got knocked out,
and he's
and
like,
him calling it an early stoppage,
stoppage.
while he's literally asleep on the mat.
He said I popped right
Because
up.
they pop right up and they put like the side by side of him saying it with the actual footage, and he
It was
gets knocked.
a
He literally
devastating
he's just,
knockout.
he's viciously knocked out.
Yeah.
After like 30 seconds, he tries to get up and like puts like one arm off the mat and just immediately collapses back to the ground.
And that guy that knocked him out, Diamond Hands, is making his return.
Dude, that dude
He
can
hasn't
crack
fought.
for
Yeah,
real.
he hasn't fought
He
in a
can
couple
really
Rough and Rowdies,
punch.
but he's back this time.
That dude's a beast.
So make sure you look for that. It's going to be on YouTube this time, which will hopefully make it way easier for everyone to watch on TV. So
And
fingers
buyinrr.com as well, if you wanted to stick with it.
Let's talk UFC though, because we got a big card and a lot of fights to talk about.
Oh, real quick, someone just before we get into this card, that the JDM Holland thing.
Oh yeah,
real, not real. Now I'm seeing like real again.
I have no idea.
They do need a co-main event for that. It's December 16th.
El Noche card.
The El Noche card that they lost Shavkat Gaslam because Gaslam is out. If this is the new co-main event, that's fantastic.
Yeah, no.
Kevin Holland JDM is a great,
if it's
very
true,
fight.
like I hope it is true.
I'm very excited for this fight.
Yeah,
and the winner of that fight should get a very big fight. His next fight.
Yeah,
winner. I think they're pretty much next to each other, like 12 and 14 in the rankings at welterweight.
Yeah,
especially if Holland just blasts through like Chiesa, and then if he was able to beat JDM, I think either regardless who wins, I think get a big fight.
Yeah, that Chiesa fight was so fucking weird. Still,
I think
Chiesa just looked so weird.
Yeah, he looked bad. He just long time off, the back injury.
Didn't want to get hit at all.
Holland's just so much more athletic. Obviously, just much longer, better striker.
You think Shavkat will get then what? In Abu Dhabi?
I hope so.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope so. That would make sense.
I mean, who
do you think they give him now?
I know. I mean, Bilal.
Oh man, it's just crazy thing with him is they promised, like he was quote unquote promised.
I know.
The next title shot from the newer card because they took that last minute.
I know.
They saved the co-main event that card when Charles was out.
Dana does generally like keeping those promises.
I know
people make the jokes that Dana lies, whatever. Don't believe his lies, but like I think back to Leon Edwards. He waited a very long time to get his title shot.
Yeah, I think Bilal's going to just sit around for like a year.
And then he's going to get it?
Well, because the thing about Leon Colby, they're claiming hasn't even been official yet, but the claim is basically it's going to be in 295 in November here in New York.
That's going to happen.
So that already puts you back there. And then imagine if that ends up being like an amazing fight.
Yeah.
At least like Holland for Shavkat.
Well, there was like I saw some people talking about that on Twitter, but the only thing is that was almost spearheaded by Magic, I think. Like Magic just loves watching Shavkat fight. Magic loves doing a lot of things. One of the funniest things is he just loves pointing out fighters that are juiced to the gills. There was like some female boxer today that got dinged for it. And then he was like, no way the female that looks like a male sprinter got busted first.
Yeah. Honestly, this guy made a good point too. I forgot MPI 06. I forgot about that. That Jones is like. There's a rumor that Jones said he doesn't want Colby on the same card as him.
Has Colby talked shit about Jones? He probably has.
They hate each other.
I think they trained together.
I've heard they did. I've heard John Jones say that Colby's like the biggest scumbag in the world,
which is hilarious.
Coming from John Jones.
I'm just saying what he said. I've seen like video footage of him saying like, I believe his exact words were, Colby is a quote bad guy. Just a bad person.
Dana loves calling people bad guys.
He's a bad guy.
He's a bad
person. Yeah. That's what he says.
They're former junior college roommates at Iowa Central.
Yeah, that's what
I knew. They knew each other well. For sure.
I mean, it could be. It could go back to a lot of the same Masvidal beef, which is Colby has changed a lot from the Iowa Central days.
He's fake.
He's a character.
No, he's a character.
Yeah, he's
living, breathing character.
He sells a show.
Yeah.
He sells pay-per-views.
He did it. Not that he did it too late. It's helped himself out, but he did it too late in the sense of there's no really way of questioning it. You just know it is.
Yeah,
it's
like
just
if you entered the UFC with that
character, as one person and then became another person. Where if he had just done this thing from the beginning, you could actually be like, oh, is it? You know it is, but you'd be like, oh, is it? Is it not?
That would suck. I really this is probably Colby Land's probably my biggest two fighters going up against each other that I love the most in like probably the history of my MMA fandom. And I selfishly love it at MSG. Yeah. But I got John Jones says whatever he's, but if they don't put it there and then they keep talking about in December, there was December's looking like it could be a mega card. Why would you even put it there? Would you wait until January to put it on?
I don't think you hold until January. No, I think you'd do it on the mega card in December.
That would be great. If that happens, Colby would have had almost a 2-year layoff.
Yeah, because it was March 20.
That was the first card we did the show. He hasn't fought since.
Get out of here.
Yes, March 5th. Colby Masvidal. That's his last
That's
fight.
so true.
That's crazy.
It is our first show.
He fought the first show we ever did. Hasn't fought since.
Jack hasn't had like another opportunity to be like Colby.
Yes, Colby.
The only time we did when we had the discussion about when Masvidal allegedly knocked his tooth out.
Yeah.
Then we discussed it then.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
But outside of that,
allegedly not.
Allegedly, no, that's a fine way to describe it.
Allegedly, he wired his jaw shut.
Yeah.
Outside of a steakhouse.
No, inside it.
Outside.
Outside. Yeah.
He didn't run inside. That's Neanderthal behavior.
Yeah, he would never. He would never.
He didn't run inside the establishment.
That's fair. That's fair.
Shout out Bob Menery. Let's talk about UFC 292. Awesome card. Kicking off with Karine Silva versus Marina Moroz. The women's flyweight division.
There's been some love from Moroz. I know
I've been seeing a lot of love from Moroz.
Lee's on her.
Line's been going down quite a bit. I think it's down to like 125.
Yep.
I thought it was like 160 like last week, or at least upwards of that high, 150, 160.
I think she can eke out a decision.
I think so too.
I don't mind her. There's a lot of fights early on this card that I don't have
Me too.
a hard grasp on it, but sometimes I have hard grasps on cards and it goes awful, so you never know. But I do think Moroz, if you want to start off your day with an underdog, it's always, I think it's
She a big dog in this fight or no?
No,
I'd say dog or bust though. I would say like me personally.
Yeah, that's fair. And I mean
or dog or pass. Dog or pass essentially same thing.
Let me pull up the odds as well. The next fight is Andrea KGB Lee versus Natalia Silva, the women's flyweight division as well. They're going back to back in that division there.
This is another one where like I feel like Silva, she's a big favorite. Like I think she's not the rightful significant favorite. I just struggle to lay this much juice in.
So this
type of fight.
It's
I think she should even finish probably, but I'm not like confident. I'm not going to bet it.
This is just such a I feel like she should just run through her, but KGB is all right. Natalia Silva minus 350 and I wouldn't. If somebody told me they had an Andrea Lee plus 280 ticket, I'd be like, all right, that's not the worst thing.
Yeah, I would almost say the same as like dog or pass.
I don't want a minus 350 Natalia Silva.
No,
minus 350 is tough. Yeah.
Also, how we've seen Macy Barber Andrea fought very well against Macy, and she arguably won that fight. And Macy's now looks like she's not on a title run. Well, she's on the start of one. She has to finish it, but she's been really, really good. So Andrea Lee, you've interviewed her.
I have, yeah.
And she's
hung out with Spider in the lobby of a hotel in London.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wait,
was that very nice?
Was that when she fought Macy, or did she fight somebody else?
No, I don't think she fought. I think she was a backup or something for that card.
Okay.
Because I think we were looking at each other like, why the hell is she here?
Yeah, I feel like didn't they have a bunch of guys come out to London for press?
Maybe, but no offense.
Trust me. I
yeah.
hear you.
Oh no,
spitballing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
it was weird though, but she was nice. Yeah,
it
was after weigh-ins. All the fighters went back to the hotel bar and started just hanging out. It was great time. Andre Petrosky versus GM3 middleweight.
This is such an interesting fight.
It is. This is a good fight.
But do you think GM3 round 3 sub?
I hope so. I love GM3.
I think ever since I've saw Petrosky, he got submitted by Brian Battle on the Ultimate Fighter long time ago. He's had a nice run. He's 4-0 in the UFC. Good for him. I actually like him. I just think this could be a classic GM3.
Also,
Petrosky's the kind of guy he can win against.
That's what I'm saying. Like how good his striking looks against Bruno Silva. I think he should be able to outstrike him. I think he's a better striker than Petrosky. I think a club and sub is live here. I think a Petrosky basically gassing out is live here.
Remember how much he gassed at the MSG card?
That's what I'm saying.
And GM3 is just a guy that's you can turn his lights off without a doubt.
Piper just did it.
Piper
hits like a truck though.
Yeah. But
Petrosky don't hit as hard.
B. Joe Piper.
But Petrosky, he's if he doesn't turn off his lights and you have a Petrosky ticket, I don't think you're feeling good. Oh, sorry. I don't think you're feeling good in round 2, round 3.
No,
also he shoots so much. You could see Gerald finding a sub.
Yeah.
I said club and sub. I that
was a guillotine.
Yeah. Exactly. I I mean, what I'm pretty sure.
I want a standing guillotine,
Did-
60-1
did-
around 3.
Did Battle Darce him?
I forget. I
Did
didn't
he?
watch that season.
I watched. I know I'm because that like the fact that he was able to get subbed like that, and that was another one where like I think he was winning the first round, and then Battle was able to just outlast him.
Let's see. Defeats Petruski via submission at the end of round 2. I don't know if they have the submission
Did they
listed.
say-
Do they?
I think on Tapology, you're a Sherdog guy.
No, I'm on Tapology.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
I think I thought it swore. I could have swore it said the.
No offense to Sherdog, but I am a ad block guy, and every time I go to
Is it
them, they're
guillotine?
like, "You want to support us?"
Jake Greenbert's is a guillotine. Might have been. I was trying to remember.
I don't mind GM3 here. I'll probably just take.
I'm gonna play GM3. He's plus like 190. I'm gonna play him by sub as
ITD.
well.
Yeah.
Maybe a little sprinkle like round 3.
You know what I love, by the way? I was reading a breakdown. I think it was last week's, just one of the. I think it was like maybe CBS Sports or something, breaking down a card. And the people that make such specific predictions for fights in their breakdowns, I swear to God, it said like, for example, it was O'Malley and Aljo, like Aljo via submission at 2:34 of round 4 via Kimura. And it's like, brother, you're picking the second it's going to happen?
He exacted it.
The second.
Like,
I think that's always funny. We've got the tough finale.
Nate Diaz did it
True.
in his last. What was the Stockton area code? What is it?
209. 209. Yeah.
At exactly 209 seconds
For Tony Ferguson.
Unreal.
Prelims kick off with the tough finale fight, Cody Gibson versus Brad Katona. Neither of these guys being the original, like intended. I think they wanted a prospect versus a veteran too. Brad Katona can win the Ultimate Fighter for the second time. He's first guy to win it for the second time.
He's good at winning fights.
Yeah. I think he's going to win this one.
I find him boring.
I think that's why he was sort of cut from the UFC in the first place, because like the fights he was winning weren't.
I kind of like part of me. I don't know if it's Cody's a dog, and I just think Katona's not. Katona's he is a very good minute winner. So that's what scares me about it, like going to decisions. And I do think he's tough to finish, but I just think Cody. A lot of me wants to take Cody Gibson. He's plus like 145, 150. What I've seen, I think I might take a shot at Gibson.
Yeah, I'm passing.
Looks like
on
the
this
chat
one.
is on Gibson. They like Gibson. Cody Gibson all day. Gibson
Katona's
hopefully by KO.
You know what it is, but if you watch the season, Katona's annoying. and part of me is trying not to let that like go into my decision making of like.
What is it about
Gibson.
him? Is it the fake accent?
It's just he just has this like smug little like.
And
I don't
remember
know.
when he
It's nothing. I don't know. It's not like personal.
Remember when he talked back to Chandler about how it was like Chandler was like, "Yeah, we'll work on that." And he's like, "No offense, dude, but we're 3 days away from the fight.
Yeah.
How we should be making changes 3 weeks before the fight?" And it was like week 2. Chandler was like, "Well, that's not really
the
how this
show we're
works."
on,
Yeah. And Connor was like, I don't think I'll be able to do that. And Chandler was just like, all right.
Next fight, lightweight division, Kurt Holobaugh versus Austin Hubbard.
This is going to be a dogfight. I like Holobaugh just because him and Gibson are very similar. Like they're just like junkyard dogs. Like they'll win at all costs. Like they'll take damage. They'll go forward. I think it's probably lined like the line's probably like it's fair.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I think Hubbard probably should be the favorite.
Yeah.
About minus 170, it seems, right?
Yep.
Right?
Like in that range.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 170, 180. It's similar to the Katona line. It's in that range. Probably like I would say Matt Biggs and Hubbard by decision. That's probably what I would like. I don't think that's a bad bet.
I'm also on Hubbard there. Middleweight division.
He was who broke Max Roshoff.
Yep.
The famous
he won.
Stool, yeah.
Yeah. Gregory Rodriguez will take on Denis Tululin. I believe it's Denis, right? Not Dennis.
Tululin. This is just I don't like I like Gregory. I love RoboCop, but that line just
I can't
seems
400.
Yeah,
400. Yeah.
I feel like he's just also we saw him get turned off by back in January by that Brazilian. What's his
Ferreira.
name? Yeah, and
Bruno.
And
Ferreira.
Bruno's a
Ferreira.
Yeah, Ferreira. Bruno's a pretty good. Bruno's good, but I mean,
He
Gregory
hits
can.
hard as shit.
And Denise hits hard, right?
He just kind of like, no, I wouldn't not nearly as hard as like Bruno.
All right, so I mean,
I think RoboCop, I think he should be a big favorite. I think that's fair. I just struggle to, I'll put it this way. I think he could easily cover his price. I think there's there's numerous scenarios. I think there's many different ways that he covers his price. I think he can I think he could wrestle him. I think he could submit him. I think he could just beat the shit out of him with his hands. But at the same time, I just think he's chinny. He scares me. I don't think he's super. He's hittable. We've seen it. We saw him get knocked out by Bruno. Even the Cheaty fight that he won, he was getting his ass beat for a minute there. He literally you could see his skull.
Yep.
Through his fucking eye. He gets on Contender Series. He got knocked out by, I forget who it was, but he got slept by somebody in Contender Series.
Forgot about the Cheaty.
Cheaty, the Cheaty fight. He was losing bad.
You could see
it's
his
good for him. He came back and won. Kudos to him. But I just think he just gets hit.
I know I've said it before, but Dana did it for that fight where you could see his skull. When Dana posts on his Instagram story, just no warning, here's the cut, and then the next one will be it all stitched up or whatever.
That RoboCop, he had a hard on for that.
Oh, it's so fucking gross.
He couldn't wait to post literally his skull.
It's spread it open. Let me get a picture of that skull. That clip I sent you guys, I watched 100 times of Matt Serra going in and being like, guess Power Slap didn't work out. Hey.
That
was made Dana laugh was so fucking funny.
That was good.
Next fight, I am very, very excited for. I'm very nervous for as a fan of the All-American. Chris Weidman makes his return to the UFC octagon to take on Brad Tavares. This is an accomplishment just that he's going to make the walk after that horrific injury. I really, really, really hope that he comes out with the win. I'm really worried about it. I wouldn't bet on him. I'll be honest.
I'm betting on him. I believe in the All-American.
All right. I love that.
200 or better. I'm betting him.
What is he right now?
His number's better than that right
plus
now.
Plus 225-ish. Yeah.
I've seen upward. I think the highest I've seen was 240, 230 maybe.
It's tough. His last couple fights before the injury, he didn't look great.
I know, but I'm taking a shot at him.
All right.
Tavares, he's in these. He's lost about recently. But I think was his last fight the Duplessis fight, which obviously has aged well.
Yes.
He might have fought
no, it was Bruno Silva. He got knocked out by Bruno Silva.
That's right.
Yeah.
The All-American, I think, maybe wants to do some wrestling here.
Yeah.
I think Tavares does have kind of good takedown defense.
I think
Edmund knocked him out. Forgot Edmund knocked him out. Brad Tavares.
Yeah.
Back when Edmund was on an unreal run.
Dude, they were thinking champ. They were thinking him and Adesanya were on a collision course.
Edmund headlined UFC COVID fight night.
Yeah, he got
destroyed.
destroyed.
Brunson?
Brunson killed him.
Destroyed. Blonde hair Brunson.
Brunson did, and then it was Imavov in New York murdered him.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a shot at the All-American here.
I would love nothing more for him to win and retire.
I can't get over the age. I can't get over the injury. I can't get over.
This is interesting. Hold on. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Tavares has 79% takedown.
I thought it was pretty solid. I remember it being pretty good.
Saw that. Also,
I really
they
haven't
given him a wrestler in a while.
Yeah, that's takedown defense percentage is kind of tough. You got to look at who he stuffed takedowns against. It could be bozos or it could be real-time wrestlers. But I really think Tavares is just going to finish him. It's going to be sad. I like Weidman.
I just got so confused by this comment. Robbie, it's Calvin from your trip to Ireland. Mate, hope you see this, doing well, and hope you're doing well and get to see this. I've never been to Ireland.
Huh.
Never. I don't know what that guy's talking about. Maybe trip to London? There was an Irish guy that came up to me and gave me Irish chocolate in London. That was really nice of him. If it's that guy, nice to meet you. I've never been to Ireland, though.
Shut up, Calvin.
You might have met someone else and thought it was me.
No, but look, he says angry Brit. So it may have been London.
But if I met someone from the UK and they came here, I wouldn't be like, "Hey, met you on your trip to Canada." Oh, I forgot.
No, you're right.
One of my favorite things ever was I was at Govball. I only went to Govball 1 year, but someone ran up to me and they were so excited to meet me. They were almost shaking. They were like, "Oh my God, can I have a picture with you, please? I watch all your stuff. It's amazing. Thank you so much, Frankie." And
No.
they really
no.
thought that they met Frankie Borelli. I didn't correct them.
He said the Island Bar in London, mate. I served you drinks.
The Ireland Bar in London, mate. I served you
I got
drinks.
pics with you, mate. Deaf you.
The Ireland Bar in London.
I'm sure with Patty and Molly or one of them.
Had to be at a bar in London. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, shout out Calvin. Though.
Shout out Calvin. That makes a lot more
Guys,
sense.
if you're in London, go to his bar.
Yeah, go to the bar. I honestly,
Tip
I
the
love
angry
London.
Brit. Tip him well.
Yeah.
My favorite
We're
place I've
international.
ever gone on a work trip, London, for sure. That's so funny. All right, main card time.
Here we go.
Marlon Cheeto Vera versus Pedro Munoz.
All right.
Absolute banger of a fight
I
between
want to have
the
to go
two
first.
O'Malley rivals.
This is one of the tougher. I have ones I've had a tougher time with. I'll break it down. So Munoz, I don't believe has ever been finished.
Like
Very
Cheeto
tough.
has never been
And Cheeto's
finished.
never been finished. Cheeto's very durable. The problem was, so I looked at this and immediately I was like, "Ooh, Munoz's decision is interesting to me."
That's what I thought.
The problem is, it's really not much worse than the money
I
line.
know.
Like he was plus like the one I looked at, he was plus 165, and something like 160ish, and then the decision was plus like 225. Which at that point I would just play him money line just to like.
You never know.
Something could happen. Cheeto's incredibly durable, but Cheeto. The problem with Cheeto is he doesn't do enough like minute winning.
Yeah.
And I think Munoz is durable enough to last. And Munoz has looked good in like first rounds. I remember the Dom Cruz fight. He dropped him twice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ended up like Dom, but then Dom kind of took over later. The only fear I have with Cheeto is he looked so bad his last fight. I think he should come out and be like overly aggressive.
Yep.
But I don't want to lay this juice with Cheeto because I think Munoz is game.
I'm gonna bet Pedro.
Like I'll probably
I'm not
kinda
gonna
what I'm
take the
getting to.
decision.
Even though I love Cheeto, so it's not. I feel this is where I'm kind of going against like my fanhood because I really am a big fan
Pedro
of Cheeto.
fights just so well. He even fought well against O'Malley. O'Malley obviously was winning the fight, and O'Malley figured him out late in that second round before the eye poke. But all that being said, I think Pedro's a very good fighter. Cheeto is also. I mean, there's nothing against Cheeto. Like this isn't a very confident pick, but I'm going to be on Pedro.
Yeah, I am too. It wouldn't shock me at all to see Cheeto finish him.
I want Cheeto to win so bad.
I do too.
To get
I want the
eventual
O'Malley
rematch.
Cheeto.
Oh my God.
I want the O'Malley Cheeto title fight.
that's
It's gonna piss a lot of people off.
I want that so bad.
But even O'Malley said in his press conference like, which would excite you more, like him versus Merab or him versus Cheeto? Next question. I was like, exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, he was like, this is the fight business. This is like entertainment business. This
Yeah.
isn't like that's just a fact.
Damon Blackshear returns after getting the third twister in UFC history, the first twister in his UFC career, obviously, against Mario Bautista. I think Bautista's going to win this. I think it's a little too tough to come back on that, but I really respect Blackshear for taking it up. And his stock will go up no matter what.
And I think Blackshear's great ability is really, I mean, we saw it last week. He gets you to the ground, he gets your back, and you're almost just suffocated down there.
Sick.
I mean, he's sick, but I think Batista's just a little bit too good to get into that situation. That being
Batista's
said,
the kind of guy you got to train for too. Like stepping in on short notice against him, I don't.
Blackshear's upside is great. I don't think a loss here really hurts him at all.
At all. No, I
No.
think it's a good. I think that, but the fact that it's 135, I think is tough. It's a cut weight twice. It's not a catch weight. It's not. They didn't go up to featherweight.
And I know it was an
fight.
easy fight for him against Jose Johnson, but like Jose Johnson wasn't some slouch. I'm sure he prepped very hard for that fight. I liked Jose Johnson going into that fight and bet him. It was obviously, looking back on it, a bad bet, but it wasn't like Jose Johnson was some bum they found off the side of the street. He won, I think, twice on Contender Series. He has one of the wildest knockouts I've ever seen where he does the elbow and the guy just I thought hopefully that guy's okay. But I really do think that Batista's just the only thing is the line's like, why is it only minus 220?
I agree. I think I think they're thinking that Blackshear's could potentially kind of negate some of Batista's strengths. But I can even agree kind of with Bringworth. Like I think he's gonna have the cardio advantage. I think he even has a striking advantage too. I don't like honestly laying minus like 200, 220 on Batista isn't like crazy to me, to be honest. Like
I was ready.
I'm considering it. I might still do it. I think he's parlay worthy.
I was thinking about laying minus 350 on him against Cody, but I think Cody would have. Well, what would you line Cody? It's different style matchups, but what would you line Cody against Blackshear on a week's notice?
I feel like Blackshear could still be fit. Well, I see Greenberg made a great point. He made good points in the chat that like the Twister is giving. They're like hyping up because of this Twister.
Yeah.
Like I think post Twister, he's a favorite. Like,
I love that. I love it. I see what you're saying.
And I think that stuff really matters. And
Twister Blackshear, yeah.
Like Twister Blackshear is a favorite.
Yeah.
That's
why
so that's why I kind of agree with.
It's like Joaquin Buckley still getting favored off of that.
Yeah. To answer like why he's minus 200, I think it's because of the old Twister.
Yeah.
Like I think if that Twister doesn't happen, he just like wins. Say he wins like a decision.
Yeah.
And it's whatever. I think Batista's minus like 350.
I think you're right.
So I'm highly if it stays like I'll say minus like 225 or less.
I'll be honest.
If it stays like under that, like in that, I might bet Batista just like straight up.
I think the line in the next fight is even crazier.
Or round 3, even like maybe it's a little sprinkle late.
Magny versus Ian Gary. Great fight. The one that Ian Gary wanted in the first place. He got Jeff Neal. Now he's got Neil Magny. I don't understand Ian Gary being like minus 500. I love him. I think he's going to win the fight. Rooting for him and everything.
I think I'm like.
But like minus 500 against Neil Magny?
I can't lay that. I can't.
I think I'm gonna be like on Magny.
They're forcing your hand.
That's what I was gonna say. They're like making me. They're like being like, how you gonna pass?
Like I get that Magny's getting older, but like
when he can grapple potentially.
Yeah, he doesn't suck.
He's. I was talking to Trav. He was asking about what I thought about it. I said, I mean, listen. If he goes out there and like knocks out Magny, I'll be like, damn, he's really good.
Yeah.
Not that I don't think he's really good now, but that'll be another big stepping stone. If he just went out there and like slept Magny.
No, yeah, he could do it.
And he can. I think he's capable of it. I'd be like, okay. I'd be like, all right, like that's good on your part.
Neil Magny by split decision. Yeah, that would be scenes.
Oh my God.
I feel like some people are turning on Ian Gary this week. I feel like
no, people have been turning on him happy.
Yeah. This week when he said he had
to
quote like everyone in the UK is waking up for me, nobody's waking up to watch Sean O'Malley and Aljamain. I'm still an Ian Gary guy.
I do like him. I think and it's kind of like that instead of like dress for the job you want, now you have he's like talking for the job you want.
No, that's fair.
Which is kind of like what you need to do. I think his problem is he's even though he's given a lot of flowers to him, that's why McGregor's behind him, but people don't like when you like he's kind of like trying to be somebody else kind of.
Yeah.
He like wants to be McGregor like 2.0 so badly. And it's funny because people say the same thing about kind of Sugar, even though Sugar's kind of has his own style.
Distanced himself.
He has like his own style, but he's saying like I want to be the next like that huge star.
Like, I love Ian Gary. Sugar didn't get on the mic after a big win and say, "We're not here to take part. We're here to take over."
Yeah,
like he literally was quoting him.
That was the MSG card, right?
It was. Yeah. That was his debut.
And like
the Colby
again,
he was
not shitting on Gary, love him, but that comes off like you're like cosplaying. Like, look,
exactly.
I'm pretending to be McGregor right now. This is
what
he does.
And let's call this what it is too. I mean, UFC fans, very macho sport.
The wife's name.
He's been bullish about taking his wife's last name. So I'm fine with it. Some people may not.
Yeah, I think
love
it's cool.
that. I get some people kind of
his wife is significantly older.
Turned off by that, but I mean, I think he should win. Like, if there were no odds, I would like say I think Gary's gonna win. But these odds.
Remember when he brought his kid around all the time to
meet his opponents?
Yeah. And then his opponent almost like he was so close to getting knocked out. You were at that card.
Yeah.
What's his name? The Chinese fighter. Yeah.
Yeah, he got clipped bad with the left.
Next one, the co-main, right?
Yeah.
Amanda Lemos versus Wiley Zhang. One where Wiley's a huge favorite. She in the 300 range, right? Like
Lemos is like 250.
I would feel okay betting Wiley minus 300.
So here's where I think Lemos is a live dog just strictly because she can crack.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes her live against pretty much anybody.
And we've seen Wiley like get beaten like.
Yeah. So my approach on this is the lines went down a lot. I think it's because smart people hit it early. I think Zhang by sub is the play. That's what I think.
Okay.
It's plus like 450. It was like 600. If you look at Lemos like Andrade like standing arm triangular, and if you look at the way Zhang is approached like some of these, I just think it's her clear advantage, her path. She submitted a Sparza I just think, and Esparza has better like grappling credentials than Lemos. Lemos can grapple a little bit, but she's going to want to stand and bang. That's gonna be her path to beating.
And I
Weili.
could see it like Lemos, and she really throws. Like she
That, like
throws
you
it
saw,
over,
like Miranda
and then
Rodriguez
she gets
dude, she just was loaded.
And she like I could see it. Like Weili sees it coming because it's so telegraphed. She comes, she gets in on her, gets the takedown, or takes her back, takes her back immediately. I see the sub in my mind. My eyes are closed. I see it.
Because I'm not betting the money line. Like if I was gonna take a money on this, I would take Lemos.
Me too.
But I'm gonna take Zhang. I'm gonna take Weili.
And I'm not gonna put Weili money line in a parlay.
No, me neither. I'm gonna play Weili by a sub.
I like that way of approaching it. That's a great bet. I'm definitely on it. Ev just sold me. That's the Ev. We should make it like a segment, like because
Ev's
like sell of the week.
Yeah,
because he sold me on a like. It feels like every
You had
card. There's
one
one
that hit too. That was
there was
like
one. It was Holland.
a specific one. Yeah,
Holland. Yeah, I did say
but there was one that you really said was crazy.
No, Aspinall. I called to like a T.
Oh,
Yep.
Aspinall.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were like first.
I said he was
100
gonna knock him out in, like,
minute.
the first couple minutes.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
and then the main event, one I've
Oh
gone
my
back
God.
and forth on 10,000 times in my mind. Two guys that have been very friendly to Barstool and the Spinnin Backfist
I'm a
show,
fan
guys
of
that
both.
we love.
I really am.
I have a
Aljamain
play I
Sterling,
love.
Sean O'Malley. I'll throw it to you first then if you got a play that you love, because I don't have a fucking clue.
I think I'm really all like I'm just so heavy on Aljamain inside the distance.
Really,
I really think he's
how
gonna
do you see him getting the job done? Submission? Strangle?
submission, or even like I even think he could find himself in such a position on the ground that he's so good at that he could flatten him out kind of on top while O'Malley's flattened out. That could end it. I really think Aljamain's gotten kind of this rep as a decision guy, but that's not who he is. And he goes in for like, I mean, Cejudo that's what Jan, I think, will look back on very fondly those last two fights that he had against him. But the fight against Cejudo, how he handled it was just so. I think we'll look back on that in a very, very good light when we look back on Aljamain. And I think O'Malley's just going to get taken down. We saw it against Jan, and Jan wasn't great at holding him down. I think Aljamain's just going to backpack him, man. And I think we saw Jan against Merab, how good he was at like for 4 rounds, not his submission defense is very good. I don't think O'Malley's is at that level. So that's where I'm at. Do I blame anybody taking O'Malley? Absolutely not.
Ev?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with, like, obviously, listen, I'll be in the house. The best like theater would be like O'Malley knockout would be like the scenes, but this is the real world.
Yep.
Yes.
I think he's capable of that. I do think he is capable of it.
Oh yeah, I think put anyone in the division.
I really think his striking is that high level.
Mhm.
And I think he proved that against Jan.
Yep.
I think he really.
Takedown defense.
I mean,
pretty
Jan,
good against Jan too.
People have like different opinions on the Jan fight. Jan was legitimately like borderline panic shooting like a couple times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like
yeah.
the striking, O'Malley was winning and was like, "Oh my god, I need to wrestle to win this fight."
Yeah.
So I think Aljo is like the right side. I think he's like he's a big enough favorite. He should be. I think if you're gonna bet O'Malley, if you want to bet O'Malley, I was looking at some props, and so the ones I was looking that I liked was there was one where it was like he knocks him out in the first or second round plus like 600 something.
Okay.
I just think if he's gonna do it, it's gonna be early.
I think you're right.
I don't think he's gonna do it in like he's never fought past 3 rounds ever.
Yeah.
You saw him at the end of the Jan fight, he was spent. Nick, granted, he's had like a full year now that his cardios have really been a problem, but he's had a lot of early knockouts. He's had a lot, like he hasn't went deep in fights. Like he has a couple times, but not a ton. Like I think his cardio is good, but he has never won 5 rounds. Aljo's done it a bunch, and he's done it all of his last like few fights, besides just finishing Dillashaw early. So I think if you want to bet Sugar, bet him like an early, not like first round knockout. Or I saw those props like first 2 rounds. I think first 3 rounds was in like the plus like 400-ish range. I'd rather take that than just take his money line. But what's Aljo inside the distance?
Plus 110.
I think that's
a good bet. Yeah.
if you want to bet. I think if Aljo wins, I think he's gonna get a choke
I
at some
really
point.
think he's gonna, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Or what you said, he just gets like that dominant
Yeah.
position.
And there's like
kind of what he did to Dillashaw a little bit, like kind of like that.
I just really think we're gonna I think there's a scenario here where, so I think O'Malley's win probability is pretty clear and where it's going to be, and I think the line's pretty accurate there. But I think Aljamain had like his win percentage probability. I think a lot of it is just pure domination. Like he really just, and in 5 rounds, we know Aljo doesn't stop, and I think there's a scenario even like if he doesn't get that finish early, he has it late. He kind of takes O'Malley's will away from him and finds that sub late, finds the KO late, whatnot, ground and pound. But you know what? I mean, I think it's my favorite play on the card. This isn't one of my favorite cards in a while coming into it in terms of just betting plays, but I really do like Aljo. I can't stop thinking about it. I really think he's going to do it. But I've been like not an O'Malley hater. I really like him, but like I was so big on Jan against him, and then but I was big on O'Malley against Munoz. So all that being said, Aljamain inside the distance. I think round 2. I think you could even get in round 1.
The thing that I haven't loved from O'Malley, I do think he's confident. I think he believes himself. I haven't loved that in some of the interviews. He hasn't said this like just outright, but he's kind of made it like, if he takes me down, I'm gonna lose.
Yeah.
He's kind of he's like even there was a video where he was asking like 1-word answers for like everyone in the division.
Saw that,
and he was talking shit about everyone got to Aljo, and he like paused for he just was like, wrestler.
Yeah.
Where like Sanhagen, he was like boring. Like whoever he
called
like,
somebody ugly, I think.
I think Jan I think Jan he's ugly, and then Robbie was like uglier.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But shut up, Robbie. I like both those guys. But yeah, I think it's like I agree with you as much as I like Sugar winning would be like this amazing drama, and like him versus Cheeto rematch for a belt would be fucking incredible. Like that would be an insane headliner for like a pay-per-view card. That'd be and just that if O'Malley wins, if O'Malley knocks him out, especially if he did what I think if he does, it will be early. If he knocks him out early, he already is. He becomes like, I'm not gonna say like the biggest star, but he's like right up there with almost anybody.
Yeah.
If he does it. I'm very curious to see the pay-per-view numbers.
Me too.
Very curious to see how well O'Malley's fans translate to pay-per-view buys.
Agreed.
This is the first time we're going to see that for real.
I think they're going to be pretty good for this card.
I think so. A lot of people have kind of made the argument that he has younger fans. Will they buy the pay-per-view? I think he's got older fans as well.
Fortnite fans, as
Aljo
Aljo called them.
Aljo said it, but I think he has more older fans than people give him credit for.
Yeah.
He's got a huge fan base.
Hey, he's got Trent.
He's got Trent. And no, that's one thing I'm actually really glad you said that, because that's a point I was going to make with him. He's someone who Marty's like my Trent to you.
Yeah.
Like when Marty asked me about a fight, like Sugar's somebody he asked about.
Got it.
As like a casual fan, he's like, oh, like Sugar fighting like soon. And I'm like, yeah, he's fighting like Saturday. Like I bet Marty watches and he like doesn't ever watch.
Same with Trent. Trent will buy this pay-per-view, and it'll probably be the first one he buys since the last O'Malley fight.
Yeah, like people that only listen to watch the big ones. Like he's a guy that I think people even like their 20s, 30s, like, and he is the Nelk Boys, which people like. That's like the fact that he's like a kind of a part of that clan.
Yeah,
those dudes like Nelk fans support. They buy.
Yeah. They've been
like they will buy fights if he like they say, hey, Sugar's our guy, he's happy that guy, buy the fight. They will buy the fight, and if they don't normally.
Nelk's been out the whole week in Boston, really pushing O'Malley, and that's definitely. I mean, Dana loves that as well. So I would assume I'm kind of with you. I think the pay-per-view buys will be good. I
think they're gonna be way better than Aljo Cejudo.
Did we know the official numbers there?
They're like 300, which is bad.
Yeah,
like 250 to 300. I think they were saying it was one of the lowest of the year, basically.
Yeah,
got it.
That's bad, but
kind of. I mean, you could have predicted that.
Yeah,
because once they lost Charles, that fucked the card.
No, yeah, 100%.
Because Charles was going to sell in reality, Aljo was going to get the money.
And you had two wrestlers going up against
Charles
each other.
was going to sell the pay-per-views.
All right, shout out Monaco.
Shout out Monaco. Also, check out our interview with Aljo, presented by Monaco as well. It's on the channel now. It's doing pretty well. I think it's an interesting look at the champion mindset right before he steps into the cage. So check that out, and we'll be back next week to recap all of this. Rough and Rowdy tomorrow as well by rnr.com. Yup.
Robbie's on the call. You got to
be on the call. It'll be great.
It's going to be the best one, I think.
Independence Day.
Yup.
It's a good name for it. All right, we'll see you then.
Shout out Monaco. Love you guys.